I'm not saying I'm rehabilitated. You know.
You're not saying that?
No, I'm not.
7 p.m. The tray hit the table. 7:01 p.m. Steam curled off the lasagna. No warden, no jury, just silence and sauce. That night, Benjamin Ritchie didn't beg for mercy. He ordered a tour of Italy from Olive Garden. By sunrise, he'd be gone. Let's begin the final 24 hours of Benjamin Ritchie. Lights exploded to life in the death row unit of Indiana State Prison. Benjamin Ritchie's eyes snapped open. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then the cold reality sank in. These walls had trapped him for years. Since 1977, Indiana's 97 death sentences and 23 executions have turned this place into a monument of justice and mortality. Now they stood as silent witnesses to his final sunrise. He sat on the edge of his bunk, arms locked tight against his chest. The air felt heavier than usual, thick with the weight of the end of time. A pale glow crept through the barred window, painting his face in steel-grey light. The corridor beyond was motionless. Only the distant murmur of guards reminded him that life still moved, just not his. Benjamin Ritchie wasn't born a monster, but something in him fractured early. Rules meant nothing, authority even less. By 2000, he was running again. Another warrant, another chase, and then flashing lights in the rearview mirror. Officer William Toney approached the car. Routine stop, calm voice. But in Ritchie's mind, it wasn't a stop, it was the end. Fear twisted into rage. A gun was raised. 1 second of panic. One life gone. When it was over, Ritchie didn't run far. He couldn't escape what he'd done, only delay it.
So bent on destroying other people's lives. All thing I can do is try to give back.
Ritchie was convicted of burglary, auto theft, and the cold-blooded murder of Officer William Ronald Reagan. Ritchie sat on the edge of his cot. His pulse slowed, and suddenly, he wasn't in prison anymore. He was back in that memory, the only place that still felt alive. The night love made him believe freedom was real. For 4 years, he'd mapped every hallway, timed every guard shift, and built a plan, one fueled by love. A woman who'd seen his story on a documentary and dreamed of helping him escape. Months later, his name resurfaced. Not for an escape, not for violence, because that night, when freedom was a heartbeat away, Ritchie didn't run, he stayed. He chose the bars, the silence, the sentence, as if he knew this was how it ends. But if not escape, then what? Clemency, a final plea for life, from the same system that once sealed his fate. It was the only choice he made that day, his last meal. Known in Indiana as the special meal. Not prison meatloaf, not mashed potatoes from a scoop. Instead, a warm bag delivered from Olive Garden. His pick? The tour of Italy, fettuccine alfredo, lasagna, chicken parmigiana. All three stacked in one tray. No dessert, no soda, served hot, no substitutions. A final comfort from a world he was about to leave behind. Just a quiet meal. He ate slowly, but he ate. Not just picking, more like savoring. A pause before the final hour and a clock that wouldn't stop ticking. Last meal. What was the decision of his last plea? April 28, 2025, the countdown began. 2 hearings, 2 chances. May 5th, May 12th, his final hope for life. In his clemency petition, signed just days earlier, Ritchie pleaded for mercy. A man once defiant, now desperate. Indiana's parole board would decide, but the true power rested with Governor Mike Braun. At the first hearing, Ritchie's voice trembled. He apologized for killing Officer William Toney, said he'd changed, said the violence was gone, that he no longer wanted freedom, only time. But a week later, the air turned cold. May 12th, the second hearing. The room was packed. Toney's family, friends, and officers in uniform. No forgiveness, no sympathy, just faces carved by loss. One by one they spoke. Their words hit harder than any verdict. They demanded justice. They demanded the end he'd earned. Wrists locked tight in leather cuffs, an unbroken chain cinched his arms to his sides, legs cinched at the ankles, no freedom, no sway. Hours spent under floodlights in a sterile white cell, 2 guards fixed in place, watching his every breath. 250 miles south of Michigan City, one last appeal, denied. His fate sealed by courts and a clock that no longer ticked in his favor. It was just after dusk on May 19, 2003. The United States Supreme Court refused to intervene. The final door slammed shut. He'd been fighting since October 15, 2002, when the Indiana Supreme Court issued its decision. Every legal thread had been pulled. Every option was tried. In mid-May, his defense raised everything left. Prenatal alcohol exposure, bipolar disorder, a childhood marked by abuse and neglect. But the courts didn't bend. Governor Mike Braun and the Indiana Parole Board gave no ground. No clemency, no stay, no pause, no second thoughts. By sundown on May 20, 2025, the fight was finished. Every petition, denied. Every appeal, closed. Every door, sealed shut. All that remained was time, and it was running out. The next step in the protocol unfolded. 4 witnesses, pre-approved by Ritchie himself, entered the viewing room. 2 attorneys, 1 litigation specialist, and a pastor. The law allowed 5, only 4 seats were filled. The blinds stayed drawn. No eyes on him yet. No contact, no comfort. Just quiet and procedure. This wasn't for closure, it wasn't for peace. It was the final formality before the curtain rose. He spoke one last time. His voice cracked, but his words cut through the silence. I love my family, my friends, and all the support I've gotten. I hope they all find peace. He paused, eyes glistening under the harsh prison lights. I just hope they find peace, even if I never do. The blinds lifted. The quiet was broken, not by sound but by movement. Witnesses leaned in. Attorney Steve Schutter watched as Ritchie's body jolted, head and shoulders rising sharply, twitching for several seconds, then falling still. No cries, just a violent surge, then calm. 2 others saw it too. Same motion, same moment, unexplained. No one spoke, no answers offered. Officials stood firm. The execution, they said, went exactly as planned, according to protocol. But inside that room, the stillness had already been shaken, and what followed, no one forgot. Just after midnight, a single dose of pentobarbital had done its job. No complications, no last-minute stays. And later, as the drug settled into his veins, then silence. His chest rose once, then fell, and that was it. One more line added to the state's execution log. One more name crossed out. The end came quietly, announced in a press release. The Indiana Department of Correction confirmed it. Andrew Ritchie was dead. In the witness chamber, the curtain slid shut. The room was empty. No voices, no movement, just stillness. Just like that, it was over. Benjamin Donnie Ritchie, the man once known for running, stealing, and killing, was gone. The air felt heavy, like the room itself exhaled after years of waiting. One last breath, one last heartbeat. Justice, some would say. Retribution, others would argue. The crime that began with a burglary ended here, with silence. No escape this time, no turning back. The end of Ritchie, the end of a story written in violence. He took a life, no doubt about that. But should one moment of violence erase the chance for redemption? Or do some crimes cut too deep for forgiveness? What do you think? Should a man like Ritchie have been given a second chance, or was this the only ending he ever deserved? Let's talk in the comments, and hit subscribe for more stories like this.